Welcome to this video tutorial on Dilt's 6 logical levels, which is an NLP model that I am going to talk you through. So your mind organises your life experiences into generalised sets of values and also a complex web of beliefs. So think about what you've done today. You've got up, you might have visited your workplace, or you might be working from home. You could have had a series of interactions with stakeholders and observed them respond, and based on their responses started to create beliefs and values around the workplace and how you should and shouldn't be. And these informed your attitude to your work, and these directly affect your behaviours. So in the 1990s, Robert Dilt developed a model he called Neurological levels, and these explain from what sort of level neurologically you are talking from when you say certain things. So it zooms in on language, hence the linguistic part of NLP, and it then sort of frames it in a way to help coaches to pick apart those words and the meaning behind them. So it's a core part of the principles and practice of neuro-linguistic programming. So that's reprogramming our language to help us change. So when do we use Dilt's logical levels? Well, if a coachee is ever feeling blocked, they've hit a brick wall and they don't know where to go, or you sense some helplessness in them, it's a good time to draw upon this model to help you, to guide them, to guide your questioning, or rather inform your questioning to help them. So what I want you to imagine is that your coachee has come to you, and in the session they have said that they want a pay rise, but they can't do this in their current workplace. So the coachee has said, I would like a pay rise and I can't do this in my current workplace. So what we've got here is this, meaning asking the boss for a pay rise. So what I want us to do now is look at this goal of today I'm in my coaching session with you, and I want to explore how to ask my boss for a pay rise, which I'm really struggling with. It's something I just keep putting off. And the helplessness or sense of being blocked that you can really sense from this sentence arises from the misalignment in the levels. So these are the levels here. There are 6 logical levels: environment, behavior, skills, conviction, identity, mission or goal. And you might notice the levels in what they are saying. So for example, if we were to look at this word from the sentence, I. So the I part here is, that should be there, the identity. So when they say I, this is the identity level. This is the level that they're talking from. When they say can't, they're talking from here their convictions. So I can't is their convictions. That is their beliefs. When they say do, they're talking about their skills here. So the ability to go and actually ask someone for a pay rise, that might actually require a set of skills that they don't have. And then the behaviours. So the behaviours is here, and that is avoiding, isn't it? Asking for a pay rise. It's not doing it. It's perhaps getting tense, agitated or nervous when you think about it. And then the environment is the current workplace. So you can see here that when that person speaks to you, I can't do this in my current workplace, they're talking to you from 6 logical levels. And as a coach, it is your job to help them to then zoom into the key words that stand out to them. This misalignment often manifests as frustration or anxiety or stress, so look out for some cues in body language, in intonation and tone of voice. And each logical level has a relationship with the other, so when they are talking to you and you are trying to identify the different levels, it's important to know this rule. So Dilt suggests a change to the lower level may not change the above level. So if the coachee, for example, decided to change their environment, that's not necessarily going to change their behaviour. So this is not going to change. The behaviour, whatever's on top, is not going to change just because the environment changes. But if the behaviour changes, then the environment could change. So the top level does have an effect on the lower levels. So that's why it's important to go deeper and try explore some of the upper levels here, because they have an effect on the lower levels of the logical chain. So by using this theory, the individual can structure what is happening. So how do we use it? When a coachee says something that you feel is helpless or it is a block, for example, I can't do that in my current workplace, ask the coachee to say it again. So invite them by asking them, I'm curious around the sentence you've just said. I'm going to invite you to say that again. Is that okay, with permission? Get them to say it again, and then explore which word creates a tug internally. That is the level they are operating from. That is the level where something needs to change. So, for example, if they were to say, that seems to stand out to me there, then they're talking from their identity level, aren't they? If they were to say can't, they're talking there about their conviction. They're talking there about their belief. If they were to say do, they're talking from their skill level. If they're talking about do, they could also be talking about their behaviour. But remember here, it's the not doing that is the behaviour. And then if they're talking to you about any of these words, in particular workplace, they're talking to you about their environment. So the word that tugs internally at them is the level they are operating from. So you might invite them to say here, out of that sentence, which word is it that tugs internally for you, or which one stands out to you? So I'm going to go through some questions now that you might use as a coach around the word that they've chosen. So let's say, for example, your coachee chose the word I. It's the word I that stands out to me. At that point, you might ask them, what is your purpose and how have you framed your mindset so you see the change as part of your role? The role label is not important here. Actually, what is important is how your coachee has internalized it. So here you want to try and identify what is your purpose and how have you framed your mindset so you see the change as part of your role. You could break that question down and ask them, what is your purpose? You might even want to say here as an addition, who are you? Or describe your identity to me. So that might be the first part of the question. Then you might want to uncompound it to make it more clear and reduce cognitive load and ask them, well, how have you framed your mindset here so you see this change, this pay rise that you want as part of your role? Or how have you framed your mindset so you don't see this change as part of your role? How are you framing your mind so you don't see you having and deserving a pay rise as part of who you are? So that is one way of exploring the first level. It's not actually the first level, is it, of the logical cycle? It's the top one. But if they use the word I, then that is a good way of exploring that word. Okay, let's look at the next level. So the next level is the word can't, and this is the belief. So here you might want to ask, what do you believe about yourself that is stopping you from making this change? Remember, a wise man, Henry Ford, once said, if you think you can do a thing or you think you can't do a thing, you're right. So this really taps into that idea here of what's your belief about yourself? What's the belief you need to make this change? And then we're going to look at how to explore skill. So if it was the word do, then they're operating from the skill level and suggesting that they don't feel they've got the skill set to do this. So you might want to ask here, well, what skills do you need to be able to do this? Or what further opportunities are there to develop the skills to achieve this? If they were to pick out the word this or that, then they're operating from the behaviour level. So remember, once a behaviour becomes a habit, it is almost undetectable. A coach can point this out and help a client explore how to develop a more positive behaviour by asking, what is preventing you from behaving differently? And then if they are talking to you from the sentence, my current workplace, then they're talking to you from the environmental level. Now, there's a mistake on this slide because that should say my current workplace. And it's really the last two words here that are important. So if they are talking to you from this environmental level, you might want to ask, is the operating environment conducive to making the change? What else can be done to ensure your environment is ready for the change? If not, how might you remove yourself from the environment? How might you change your environment? How might you make the environment more conducive to doing what you need to do? So that is how you would coach them around the environmental level. So in summary, your role as a coach is to help your clients realign their neurological levels. So this is a model for making sure that whatever level your coachee presents as the issue, you help them to then align that level with the others in a positive way and consider going deeper if necessary. So work at whatever level your client presents the issue and then consider going deeper. If they talk to you from an environmental or a behaviour level, then see if you can perhaps work a bit deeper at the other levels. Because remember, if they change their environment or behaviour, that might not be in line with their identity at the top. So there's a misalignment, and your job as a coach is to align them. So alignment in thoughts, words and actions build self-confidence. So although the coachee might say, I can do that here, and they're saying those words, it might not correlate to the deep belief and value and identity that they have about them, which is that perhaps they're worth it. So yes, it's one step closer to asking for that pay rise, saying I can ask for a pay rise here, but if it's not aligned with the way their values, then it's misaligned. And what we need to do then is just dig a bit deeper and go to that identity level as well to try and create alignment in thoughts, words and actions, not just one or the other. Okay, so I hope that was informative tutorial on Dilt logical levels, and I hope that you can apply that in some of your coaching. Thanks for watching.